The uncle, the Prophet's uncle, he has still that nationalism, that tribalism, that still part of I have the tribalism and nationalism favored over the true message. When Muslims take this away and take things away, you see, the rich, although he knows Islam is the truth, but he cannot apply the principles of Islam because he has to give the zakat. He has to give the money. And it's too much to give, so he doesn't give it. Brothers and sisters, we come to another problem, which Muslims, a lot of time they assume that the people who the message of Islam didn't reach them, are disbelievers. And this is false. The disbeliever in Islam and in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a verse he said, we're not gonna torture, we're not gonna have punishment until we send a messenger. What that mean? That means a disbeliever, the message has to be clear to him. Allah has to make sure that he knows Islam clear, and what Islam is, and the true Islam is, and then he reject. When he reject, that's a disbeliever. But unfortunately, Muslims or Islam been on earth for 1450 years, and we never reach as Muslims to try to convey the message clearly. The true message of Islam. And that's why you see accidents happen. You go commit, for example, somebody's stampede. You get a car and just running, killing people. And they say, oh, Islam. This is a guy who doesn't understand Islam. This is a guy who doesn't not representing Islam. Well, in his mind, he said, oh, these are disbelievers. Oh, let me kill them. And this is misunderstanding of what Islam is. Again, you come to the point where you need to understand that the job of a Muslim, or a job of a Muslim who need to spread Islam, is not to make the person Muslim. No. The job is to clarify Islam, to explain Islam, to explain why the other person must be a Muslim to protect himself from hell fire. So you clarify, you explain the medicine, you give the prescription, but the person has to get that medicine and he has to swallow it. You're not gonna go and put that medicine in his mouth. Because Islam comes with sacrifices. It comes with regulations. It comes with things need to be followed. Islam is a rules for your what? Why you put a seat belt? Why you must put a seat belt when you drive in a car? For your safety. Because an accident will happen. And if it happens, you're safe. Same thing. Islam has a lot of rules. The prayers are not done for random. It's a seat belt. A seat belt to protect you from committing sins. Fasting is not done at random. Everything is done for a purpose. Seat belt to prevent you from sinning. And this is why the job of a Muslim who want to spread and convey the message of Islam, explaining and telling people about it. You cannot convince somebody who doesn't want to be a Muslim for any reason to become a Muslim. And that is why we see, like we said, majority of Muslims, they're not doing anything for Islam. Because of what? Because they don't want to do the sacrifices needed. They don't want to act together, which Islam entails. They don't want to do the actions, which is Islam has nothing. Everybody has one nation, one nationalism, one citizenship. It's La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. Only one God worthy of worshipping, and Muhammad is his last prophet. That's your citizenship. There is no, this is Islam. So you cannot, oh, I'm from this country, or this country, or this country, or this place, or this place. So when this happened and this change, you see Islam is flourishing. So the message again is we're job to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who will guide the person. If the person what? Need guidance, who's looking for guidance. Brother and sister, you cannot sell, you have, say for example, you have a jewelry store. Okay? People are passing by, passing by, passing by. Who's gonna come stop and buy a jewelry? How much is the jewelry? Say $500, $5,000, $10,000. Who's gonna stop there? People are passing by, passing by. The one who's looking for it, the one who is willing to pay the price, the one who has the ability and looking for that piece of jewelry. That piece of jewelry will fit him. But unfortunately, you're not going to see the person who is fraudster, liar, hypocrite, going to look for that piece of jewelry called Islam. You see the people of a clean heart. You see the people who are kind and gentle. You see the people who want peace and love. The people who want mercy and caring. They're the one who's going to look for that jewelry because it's easy to fit them. It's going to be easy to fit their finger. It's easy to fit their heart. And that's what Islam is talking to the heart. I can talk for years. That's why the Quran says, إِنَّكَ لَا تَهْدِي. You can talk for years and years to your family, to your people around you. But if that piece of jewelry is not going to fit them, they're not going to buy them. If they're not looking for it, they're not going to stop in the store. If they're not. And that's why you see a lot of people passing by. Sometimes some of them look. But unfortunately, he doesn't want to do this. Sometimes some of them, a lot of them, they have the money. But they don't want to do the sacrifice to buy that jewelry. And unfortunately, that's the only piece of jewelry needed to save yourself from hell, which is Islam. So what we need to understand is a mutual desire. When you have the desire to be guided, Allah will guide you. And this is very important. You're looking, Allah will make the road for you. Allah, if there is a will, there is a way. You willing to take the challenge? You willing to, even all the prophets and all the messengers, they started to look from scratch. You see the story of Ibrahim. You're looking at the sun. If this is God. You're looking at the moon. If this is God. He's looking at this. If this is God. He's questioning. That's the start. A person who's looking for guidance with these questions, the Christians who are looking for guidance and is Jesus God? Is this, doesn't make sense. Allah will guide them to Islam. And that's the main message of the day. The main message is all the time ask Allah to guide you and guide you and guide you, and in the way you have to sacrifice. There is sacrifices has to be made. We can talk about the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, his history. And even if he went to the the epic, the top of his message, and that he is almost close to death. A lot of sacrifices and a lot of calamities and a lot of tribulations are happening. There has to be sacrifices all the way, because that paradise is so expensive and we have to pay for it with our sacrifices. أقول قولي هذا